Most U.S. states have one landscape, one geology, one terrain, one story. Wisconsin has two, and the line between them is one of the most dramatic geological boundaries anywhere in North America. Cross it heading southwest, and the land drops into ancient limestone valleys carved before the last ice age even began. Cross it heading north, and you enter a world of 10,000 lakes, built entirely by a glacier that vanished 15,000 years ago. Same state, same size, completely different planet. And the reason for that split, the reason one half was rebuilt from scratch while the other survived completely untouched, comes down to a single moment, roughly 20,000 years ago, when a wall of moving ice stopped. Right here, look at this map. This line running diagonally across Wisconsin, geologists call it the glacial boundary. On one side, the last great ice sheet covered everything. It flattened, it scraped, it rebuilt the land from the ground up. On the other side, the ice never came. And you can still see the difference today, not just on geological maps, but on satellite images. The northeast is flat, dotted with lakes, smooth as a table. The southwest is jagged, steep, and deeply carved, a terrain that looks more like the Appalachian foothills than anything else in the Midwest. So why did the glacier stop at this exact line? The answer isn't complicated, but it's stunning. The southwest corner of Wisconsin sits on some of the hardest, most ancient rock in North America. Quartzite ridges more than 1.6 billion years old. Limestone bluffs that had already survived dozens of previous ice ages. When the last glacier arrived, it hit this terrain and simply couldn't grip it. The ice split. It flowed around the highlands. And in doing so, it left behind a pocket of land completely untouched, a place geologists now call the Driftless Area, the only region in the entire Midwest that predates the last ice age, completely intact, and it has been sitting there unchanged for over 100,000 years. The Driftless Area covers roughly 16,000 square miles across southwest Wisconsin and parts of Iowa, Illinois, and Minnesota. And standing inside it feels wrong. Every instinct tells you this shouldn't be here. The Midwest is supposed to be flat, predictable, smooth, but the Driftless Area throws out bluffs rising 400 feet above winding rivers, deep hidden valleys, caves carved by water that has been flowing to the same underground channels for millions of years. Geologists know the ice never reached here because of what's missing. Drill a core sample almost anywhere in the Midwest, and you'll hit glacial till, the rocky, sandy debris left behind when a glacier melts. It's everywhere. It's the geological fingerprint of the Ice Age. Drill in the Driftless Area, and there's nothing, just ancient soil, ancient river sediment, a geological record that goes back uninterrupted, long before the last ice age even started. The rivers here tell the same story. In glaciated regions, rivers follow new paths. Channels cut by meltwater, rerouted by debris. In the Driftless Area, rivers follow channels set millions of years ago. The same bends, the same valleys, the same ancient paths, deepening slowly, untouched. This is what America looked like before the last ice age. It survived, right here, in southwest Wisconsin, but crossed that invisible line heading northeast, and everything changes. Northeast Wisconsin looks the way it does because of one force: 10,000 years of moving ice. As the glacier advanced across this region, it didn't just flatten things, it sculpted. It dragged boulders across the bedrock, gouging long parallel scratches still visible today. It pushed massive ridges of rock and debris called moraines, some of them running for miles in long, curving arcs. And when the glacier retreated, it left behind its most dramatic legacy. Enormous blocks of ice, sometimes hundreds of feet across, broke off from the retreating glacier and became buried in the debris. Slowly, over centuries, they melted, and as they melted, the ground above them collapsed, leaving behind deep, round depressions. Fill those depressions with water, you get a kettle lake. Wisconsin has over 15,000 of them. In some counties in the Northeast, you can drive for an hour and never be more than a quarter mile from a lake. The landscape is so saturated with water that early maps look like they're half land and half mirror. This is what a glacier leaves behind when it retreats. Not emptiness, but water. Thousands of basins, perfectly shaped to catch rain, snowmelt, and groundwater. a landscape engineered by ice to hold water forever. And then, 15,000 years ago, something even more dramatic happened. In central Wisconsin, there used to be a lake the size of half of Lake Erie. Glacial Lake, Wisconsin. 5,000 square kilometers of water, held back by a wall of ice and glacial debris near the Baraboo Hills. For centuries, that dam held. Then, around 15,000 years ago, it didn't. The entire lake, hundreds of cubic kilometers of water, broke through in what geologists estimate was one of the largest floods in North American history. Peak flow rates may have reached over 1 million cubic meters per second. To put that in perspective, the entire Amazon River, the largest river on Earth, moves about 200,000 cubic meters per second. This flood was 5 times bigger. The water blasted through soft sandstone at what is now Wisconsin Dells, carving a narrow gorge with sheer walls and sculpted rock formations. What looks like the work of millions of years of slow river erosion was actually carved in days, maybe hours. The drained lake bed became the central sand plain, a flat, sandy stretch visible on satellite images today. Dunes, marshes, irrigated farm fields, all sitting on the floor of a lake that vanished in a single catastrophic moment 15,000 years ago. Wisconsin Dells is one of the most visited tourist destinations in the Midwest. Most people visit for the water parks. Almost nobody knows they're standing in the scar left by the most powerful flood in the history of this region. This split landscape didn't just shape Wisconsin's geology. It shaped everything humans tried to do here. In the 1800s, engineers had a plan. The Fox River in the northeast and the Wisconsin River in the southwest almost touched at a place called Portage. Connect them with a canal, and you'd have a continuous water route from the Great Lakes all the way to the Mississippi and eventually the Gulf of Mexico. On paper, it was the Erie Canal of the Midwest, a trade route that would make Wisconsin the commercial heart of North America. The glacier had other ideas. The lower Fox River drops nearly 170 feet in 40 miles, a gradient created entirely by glacial deposits. Engineers had to build lock after lock after lock just to let boats climb the terrain the glacier had left behind. Meanwhile, the Wisconsin River, flowing across ancient glacial sand plains, was constantly choked with shifting sandbars. Boats ran aground, channels silted up. The Portage Canal, barely 2 miles long, kept filling with weeds. By the time the last lock was finished, railroads had already made the canal obsolete. Trains ran on higher, drier ground, ignoring the glacial terrain that had defeated the engineers completely. The glacier that built Wisconsin also defeated every attempt to build over it. Wisconsin is a state that geography divided before humans ever arrived. One half ancient, one half rebuilt, one half a window into pre-Ice Age America, one half a signature left by 10,000 years of moving ice. And that division, that invisible geological line running across the middle of a midwestern state, still controls where people live, where rivers flow, where floods carve gorges overnight, and where an entire civilization's trade ambitions were quietly defeated by sand and glacial debris. Geography doesn't just shape landscapes. It shapes everything that happens on top of them. If you want to see the next video, where we look at another American state whose geography makes absolutely no sense, subscribe now, because that video goes up next week. And if you found this interesting, this video here is where we broke down why Dallas, a city of 8 million people, has no river, no coastline, and no geographic reason to exist. See you there.